Okay, guys, so I want to compare Facebook pages for real estate agents, how to go about it and how not to. Now, I've got some of the biggest agents in some of the best suburbs in Sydney in Australia. And as you can see here, you know, like these guys haven't made a post in months, right? Now, if I go to another agent, so if I go to Lang and Simmons in the same suburb, you know, one post in 6 months, and they've probably given up on Facebook, and they're absolutely mad. Facebook pages have a huge amount of ability to draw in customers and clients, but you've got to do it right, and I'll show you how to do it right in a minute. Here's another one, you know, a big brand, 33 posts, so they're doing it way better. 15, just pay attention to these average numbers, okay? So 492 engaged users, 15, and that's a big brand in a big, busy suburb. Okay, here's a little tiny brand I've never heard of in a busy suburb. Average 759 engaged users. They're not doing too bad for a tiny little brand. There's their most popular posts. Okay, let's have a look. Another huge brand in a very popular suburb, and they've got no posts in basically 6 months. Okay, here's another brand in a very, very popular suburb in Sydney. 161 engaged users, 40 engaged posts. So the types of posts they're doing is great, but they've only done 4 posts. So these guys have dropped the ball. Okay, and if they're using something like Recur Post or Hootsuite, or they just had it in their cycle, then they'd find that these guys would do really well. Let's take a look at another one. Veridity Real Estate. Now, I've never heard of this, but I believe they're in Parramatta. 200 engaged users, 38 posts, so they're doing well, but the types of posts they're doing are no good. So let's have a look at the types of posts they're doing. They did a hiring post, amazing property successfully leased, great off the plan, for sale. Now, I'm going to show you one more, and then I'll show you how to do it. Now, these guys do it. They do a decent number of posts, so they've got a good cycle in place, but again, wrong type of posts. Not engaging, okay? They're only getting 4 people engaged. Now selling, historic fire station, proud to announce that we have been selected. Ever wanted to own a piece of history, another cracking sale, okay? So they're basically just doing all your stereotypical real estate agent posts. And, you know, that's only engaging for someone who's currently looking to buy or sell, or who is friends of the agent. Now let's look at a tiny little real estate in a tiny little country town in New South Wales, my home country town. We only have 30,000 people in our town. Okay, these suburbs I just showed you have, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people, or at least 200,000 people sort of in their immediate area. Okay, we have 30,000, and we have about 30,000 in our surrounding feeder little beach towns and things. So let's take a look. They're called Percival Property, and let's take a look at what they're doing, and that's differently. Okay, they got 199 posts, right, which throws everyone. I think the closest we got from anyone else was 135. Their average, they got 4.5 thousand engaged users. They got 23 average engagement per post. Now that even though that we saw 40 on one of the others, that's a reasonable engagement. And when you've got that amount of posts with that amount of engagement and that amount of engaged fans, then you're going to start to get some traction from your social media. Okay, now this is over a 6-month period. So a 6-month period is well, actually, what period did I pick? 1st of July to the 31st of January. So it's actually 7 months. So 7/30s is about 210 days roughly. 199 posts. They're not even doing a post a day. But, so, you know, if you just gave this to your secretary to do as a task, look at the type of engagement you can get. Now, they're a real estate agent, so let's take a look at the types of posts on their Facebook wall that they're actually doing. All right, so here's their Facebook wall. Now, let's have a look. So this is the 29th of January is their last, oh no, it's not their last post. Sorry, I scroll up. Okay, so there's their header. Life is like a series of doors. That's a bit of nothing. 24 people still liked it though. Obviously a little video.
Life is a series of doors. closing as you live, learn, love.
I'll give him a like.
You'll need more doors as you grow from 1 to 2.
Okay, so then, super excited to see everyone tonight. So they're going to an event. That's great. Some community thing. Now look at this. Oh, not this one. Sorry, I'll keep scrolling down. Percival Educational Series. In the episode, Lauren answers simple yet often asked questions. So, let's just...
And it's all I've ever done. So using that with conveyances, that's all we do. So we spend 100% of our time for taking out insurance over the property after exchange if they are going to be moving into the property. So if there's been any agreement in the contract that their bank would ask for as well. So once it's...
Now that one, notice that didn't get a huge amount of engagement. So let's keep looking at the numbers as we go down. Officially launched this year's Hastings Relay for Life. That's a local charity event. So they're involved in that. Percival gives back. Inspirational words. Don't let your disability get in the way. Bennett's, I think that's Bennett. Yeah, Bennett's he's got intellectual disabilities and he's involved in his sport and he's doing some charity fundraising. So they're getting on board with that. Here's another one of their video episodes. Now again, it's only 13. Sorry, I just realised this. You guys haven't got the computer sound on. So that previous video, they're just giving advice on conveyancing. So this one here, it got good engagement. Look, ever wondered what it's like to go behind the scenes at the Glass House, which is one of our local events? So they're showing us behind the scenes there. Then boom, this is why they want the engagement. Because look, here's their core business, selling real estate. Okay, so here's one of their case studies. Success, we just sold this. And they've got 21 or 20 people have engaged on it. This one's coming from the Port Swimming Club, so they're probably just reposting things that are getting posted there. Here's another one, a property listing. Now, they're getting 18 on their property listings, and that's their core business. That's why they're here. Here's another property listing, right? Getting 15 people like it. A community repost, that would be from the Port Macquarie News or somewhere. Another one about Australia Day. Secrets out about Port Macquarie. 5 testimonials. Okay. Didn't get huge engagement, but it's still a post to feed their hungry audience. Here's another one. Property for sale. Okay. Or property sold, is it? Yep, sold. 5 people engaged. 8 people. How often are we spending Sunday? How are you spending Sunday on a Port Macquarie? Twilight food markets. No, low engagement. Low engagement. Okay, so let's just fly down. Here's another property, 7. So you can see that the properties are getting, say, anywhere from 7 to 20. This one here, notice the ones with multiple pictures get more engagement. That's a key point, is to put multiple pictures on. Okay, we'll keep scrolling down, have a look. Okay, here's another one of their series, 8 people liking it. A property, 8 people liking it. A local event. Another property, new listing, 1.3 thousand views. Now, they probably promoted that. They probably ran an ad, a post engagement ad out of advert management. Don't boost your posts, that's a waste of money. Okay, they only got 6 likes on it, but this one here, 14 likes for a new listing. Perfect. A video new listing too. So let's take a look. It's just got music playing. He's introducing himself. Today it's my pleasure to give you and introduce the one owner home, beautifully presented inside and out. I think you can hear it on the speaker. I'll just skip through. Now, those ads aren't cheap to make. If your vendor is going to pay for that, that's probably fine to go ahead and do. I would suggest you just go with some multiple photos because you can do them yourself. They're far cheaper and your audience will still engage. Okay, but the videos, the thing about those is if you are going to promote them, you're going to get cheaper Facebook ads. So let's go back, keep scrolling. What's that one? That's our digital marketing exposes your property to a global audience. Bit of self-promotion. Do yourself a favour. Get in the Glass House. That's a local event. Here's another one of their property series. Remember to go to our website for the full list of open homes. So a bit of self-promotion. 11 engagement. Okay. So I'm just going to fly down the list, and when I see some big engagements, I'll pause. I'll come back on. Here's another one. Their album of sold properties. 19 engagement. Here's a thank you album for 2017. 28 engagement. This is probably their best one yet. They've got a video here with about 66 likes.
Bubbly for Christmas breakfast. Giving gifts. Family time. Getting all the family together. My favourite.
So they've just interviewed their staff.
Sauce and big, great presents. There's the arrival of our little scout elf Matilda. That's Matilda. And she comes on the 1st of December every year. Messes up my house, causes chaos, but brings so much joy and love to my little girl and our family. And Matilda is what Christmas is all about.
The feeling everyone's always so happy, and it's more of a season and not just a holiday.
Spending the day at the beach, seeing my family, eating lots of food.
Food that goes with it. Spending lots of precious memories around the Christmas tree, in the pool, and just having time off work.
Let's just see how they wrap up the end.
Have a wonderful year ahead. Some goals this year around the Christmas tree. Kick some goals this year at Percival Property, and we are so grateful for all of those in the community that have supported us, that have bought and sold through us, and that have supported all of our fundraising efforts as well. To all of you out there, have a wonderful, safe and happy Christmas, and may 2018 bring you excellent health and lots of happiness. From me, thank you very much, and have a wonderful year ahead.
Okay, so as you can see, you know, these guys, their page isn't all about real estate, okay? They've got all their community events, they're celebrating all the big days, they're getting involved in charity and having reposts of community club events, and then they intermingle with their results and their properties that are for sale. And what they're doing is they're getting good engagement on their results and their properties for sale, and they've got lots of people seeing their news feed because they have this great spectrum of material. Whereas if you just stick to, like, hey, we just sold this property, hey, this is what we're doing in the office, hey, we've got a new listing, and if you just stick to that boring real estate, then at any one time you're only going to have, like, say 10 or 20 people sitting on your page. And when the problem with that is when you get someone new wants to sell, well, which agent's going to be front of mind? You know, no one's engaged with that one unless they're actually buying and selling. Whereas Percival have got people engaged with them, whether they're buying or selling or not, and they're front of mind when people want to sell. Now, here's the proof that it works. This website is called Rate My Agent, okay, in New South Wales, or ratemyagent.com, and you can punch it in and come and have a look for yourself. And here's the proof that it works. These guys, look at their market share from February 2017 to now. So these guys, who are established agents in the town, their market share has been declining. Big, rich agency. These guys here used to be probably one of the best in town. They just spent a massive amount of money on a redevelopment, and look at their market share over 12 months. Look at these guys, and the only thing that they do very differently, you could argue their location's nowhere near as good. You know, their signage, I've seen their signage around town, it's not as good. But what are they doing? Social media. They're front of mind. Everybody, these guys haven't been in town that long, and everybody knows who Percival Real Estate is. Everybody, because they're all over social media. And that's what's happening. Look at their market share. Okay, so they've gone from being third out of this lot by a long way to being top of the bunch.